Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me today for something I am incredibly excited about. I am taking my SLS AMG Black Series to go and visit the brand new AMG GT Black Series, which I believe is the first time these two generations of AMG Black Series cars will ever have been sat side by side, and it's about to happen with mine and the brand new one. Now I've had a first look at the car, but today I'm in the south of Germany heading to the Mercedes-Benz test track, Mercedes-AMG as well, where I think we should see some pretty cool things, including of course getting this alongside the new GT and being able to take a seat inside it, go through a few more of the things about the car that I might not have mentioned before. So let's get the SLS started up, head on out for a short little drive over towards the test centre to get the two together. I guess you can probably tell I'm quite excited about taking this car to go and meet the newest member of the Black Series family very shortly. Over the last couple of years, I've become quite an AMG addict, from doing vast numbers of miles in my GT R, the original beast of the green hell, to now having the SLS alongside the GT R Pro and also the G63 in the garage, with the GT R Roadster ready to collect very soon as well. But for many years, the SLS AMG Black Series had been one of my dream cars, and I drove it for the first time about 3 or 4 years ago and hoped that one day I might be able to add it to the collection, which a couple of months ago I was lucky to do, acquiring this car and then making it into my dream spec in the Mystic Blue as well. Today though, we're taking the SLS to go and meet the new GT. Now the SLS AMG was AMG's first in-house entire project. The AMG GT has been their second and the new GT 4-door has been the third, but this followed on from the SLK 55, the CLK 63, the SL 65, the C63, then we had the SLS, and now we have the GT Black Series as well. And the Black Series has always been AMG's designation for the ultimate expression of track performance, but there's quite a lot that's different between this car and the new one, where this, I would say, still in some form looks quite elegant. Yes, it's brutish, it's wider than the standard car, it's noisier, it's more aggressive, you have more aero with the aero kit thanks to the large rear spoiler and also the flicks around the front, but the new Black Series also has active aero. It has a host of new technology as well as some things I'd like to show you on the inside of it. So today we will take this straight out then, not waste any time, to get on over to where the new Black Series is awaiting. Of course, we have the gull wing doors on this, and I'll actually show you some things that are similar and consistent between the different generations. So let's get this started up, get on the road and go check it out. When you bring this into life though, this to me is one of the best things about the SLS. That 6.2 litre naturally aspirated V8. The new car has a new flat plane crank V8 as well, 4 litre bi-turbo, but we'll talk more about it when we get over there, so let's get on the road. What does it mean then for a car to wear that AMG Black Series badge? There haven't been very many of them. They've always been incredibly limited in terms of number as well. There are believed to be about 350 of this car, the SLS. The new one is limited production by time as well, I think, just like this was back at the time, so we won't really know exactly how many there are going to be. All we know is that there won't be many. They are AMG taking their regular, if we can say that, AMG models and making them even more refined, even more track focused, even more aggressive, even more brutal. And you hear that just as I shift up and down through the gears of this car. The ferocious noises it makes, but it's also more dialed in. The suspension is reworked. It's honed in to be on the racetrack, and I think when you just glimpse at the new car, you can tell that's exactly what it's all about. And they've done more than 2 years, I think, of development work, both here at their secret test track where we're heading now, and also at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, just as they had done as well with the previous cars. This had been blasting around the green hell for years before it was launched, as has the new one. We've seen plenty of prototypes and camouflage cars, but now it's been revealed. Now we can go and see it in all of its glory and share this car alongside the GT. And like I said, I don't even think that Mercedes-Benz or Mercedes-AMG have actually put the two of these in any form side by side, because where they keep their heritage collection, the classic collection, is at a different facility. So where their SLS Black Series isn't where the GT has been. Maybe it's happened behind the scenes, but today it's going to happen with this one, which is super cool. So we will get there in a moment, head into the workshop where we're going to be exploring the car and get to look around them side by side. Come on in here then, let's go and have a look and head straight through Well, look at what we have got here. Not only the new GT Black Series, but also you can spot the AMG GT3 car that gave much of its inspiration. Let's come through. We're going to have a look at these before pulling the SLS Black Series in alongside this in a moment. But this is it. This is the new 6th generation of Black Series, the new AMG GT Black Series. And just look at the exterior of this thing. If a car could ever scream that it was purposeful, that is what this does. And you can see so much of that inspiration from the GT3, the front grille, for example, the rear wings that you have at the back. But this car also has the extended front splitter that's currently pulled out. You've got these gigantic cooling vents in the bonnet that direct the airflow around the sides. Look at the design that you have on the splitter, and then this 2-story rear wing, which even has the active flap in the center for more downforce over the back. But this is the car that has that new M178 BS engine that makes 730 horsepower, 800 newton meters of torque. Those are some big numbers from the 4-litre bi-turbo V8. And just look at it as well. You can see more inspirations, the louvers and the fenders, for example, like we have here on the GT3 car. This actually still runs the old 6.2-litre V8, like in the SLS as well. But this, just being here, just walking around it, this is really very special. And on the inside, and I'll pull the SLS in a moment so that we can take a look at the differences. Here, you've got an evolution of the seat with the dual orange stripe. You've got the orange contrast stitching, the AMG Performance wheel. There are a few changes actually about this car. On the passenger side as well, you can see we've got the 4-point harnesses installed, the track package with the cage behind and the fire extinguisher, digital displays, and these new door cards. Now, lightweight door cards from the Dynamica. You've got the door pulls, also the AMG logo style perforation with the orange stitching. This thing is a menacing car. But let me head on out then to pull the SLS in to have them side by side. Well then, look at this. SLS Black Series alongside GT Black Series, I think for the first time. I'm sure it's going to happen in many car collections and at many press events in the future, but this is probably the first time to date this has ever happened. And I tell you what, when you look at the GT Black Series, it almost makes its predecessor, the SLS, look quite like a road car. It's so much less aggressive when you compare the bodywork and aerodynamics of the newer car in terms of how things have changed in just 7 years since the market introduction of the SLS back in 2013. But these two are some really special cars, and just seeing them like this, high-tech silver alongside the Mystic Blue, I think they look epic together, and this is really special, really exciting. Of course, the SLS shares the engine from the GT3, but let's come and talk a little bit more about this, the M178 BS that you find in the new GT Black Series, the new flat plane crank engine they've introduced with this car. So let's come and double pull that just to release the bonnet, come on round, and then in here, this is where you have all of the work for the cooling and the GT3 style radiator that you have in here, which basically comes from that car to keep the engine cool with all of that extra power. You've got the new engine plaque over the top, and like on the SLS, you have the black badge worn just there. In fact, just to show you this, let's open up the SLS's gull-wing door and come and do exactly the same just here, so we can see the black badges side by side, because that again doesn't happen often. In fact, even just looking, this looks like the previous generation of engine compared to the new one, which is massively more powerful. This was 631 horsepower, 635 newton meters, up to 730 horsepower, 99 more, and torque up from 635 to 800, 165 newton meters more torque now in the GT Black Series. Let me shut this back down though for the moment. Of course, you always have this drama with the gull-wing doors, which I, for one, certainly really appreciate. This is a full carbon bonnet like on the SLS, and there are a few things like that that actually carry over from one car into the other, you know, weight savings, making them so much focused. Obviously, both cars have 7-speed dual-clutch gearboxes, all of the power going to the rear wheels. The GT Black Series actually doesn't have rear wheel steering, like on the GT R and the GT R Pro, to give it an even more raw driving experience. Like the GT3 cars, for example, we have race-focused brake discs and pads as well, carbon ceramics, as you would expect. And we also have the new Cup 2R tyres. I wonder if those can be retrofitted back to the SLS. That's an interesting question, because these offer unbelievable amounts of grip and obviously performance Now inside, something I noticed that is different about the GT Black Series to the GTR and the GTR Pro is that it no longer has a cover over the cup holder section in the middle. I guess that's to save a little bit of weight instead of having the removable or slidable cover that it would have. Still have the cup holders down there though. We've got the 9-stage traction control toggle in the middle, and likewise we've got the hotkey controls on the steering wheel, and obviously with the track package we've got all of those options. And another thing is the top of the dashboard. This is previously in leather with Dynamica on different sections. It's now a full Dynamica interior, which is the Mercedes-AMG take on the lightweight manufactured material to use for the interior surfaces. Just some leather still on the bucket seats with the 3 points or the 4 points depending which way you would like to drive and use the car. Obviously this actually is a little bit more practical because of the boot and the luggage space, and maybe I should show that very quickly. If we press the button just here, there you get the Black Series animation when the dashboard wakes up. I hadn't spotted that before. That's kind of cool as well. But in the rear, with the full carbon boot lid that you have and a lightweight window, back here you've got the supports which are for the wing, for the downforce, and obviously the harnesses are attached onto those supports. I do have the track pack in my GTR Pro, but don't have the harnesses actually installed, and you can see the carbon backed bucket seats as well. More very, very cool details, and you kind of wonder where you should pull this down from because it goes up very high in the air when you have it open. But this GT Black Series has a new badge too. Now we have AMG on this side, and the car's just been washed by the way. AMG logo over there, GT Black Series on this side, whereas we had SLS and the old style badge, the AMG Black Series swoosh around the edge of the logo. But these two and the GT3 as well. I mean, look at this. Look at how mental this thing is. Cooling through the bonnet, done in a slightly different way on the road car to the race car, which is interesting to see. But the radiator that this wears inside in orange. And don't forget, AMG Magma Beam is one of the halo colours offered for this car. We've got the high-tech silver one here, but I think a colour quite similar to that is the one that is going to be available as well for this. So I mean, this doesn't happen often. Certainly not with the GT3 as well. That is a truly epic AMG trio and a very, very special sight to be able to behold right now. There is one thing that I haven't yet done, and while I'm here, I'm going to take a seat inside the GT Black Series. When I filmed it in Affalterbach the first time, I didn't actually take a seat on board. Here we are then. Obviously, in many ways, like the GTR and the GTR Pro, but this car just even more hardcore, even more special. And wow, yeah, this is really cool, and even better when you have that view. All right, quick moment, now I need to get the SLS out. A few quick minutes have gone by, but I need to take my car back on out for some filming to continue with the GT Black Series. But what an awesome opportunity. A huge thanks to the team here for this being possible, because, well, it probably won't happen for quite a long time, but fingers are crossed this might happen in the garage of the Shmeemobiles in the future. For the time being though, I need to pull this on out. Hopefully it won't be too long until there's an opportunity to get behind the wheel of the new GT Black Series and experience what it's all about. And you never know, maybe one day get to drive something crazy like a GT3 version as well. For now, what an unbelievable sight. Let me pull this back on out. This has well and truly been a whistle-stop opportunity to get these two cars together, and I'm sorry for saying it quite so many times, but I think you guys know how important this car is for me. One of my dream cars that is now a Shmeemobile. Well, maybe, fingers crossed again, in the future it might be joined by a GT Black Series as well. But to see them, to see the differences, to see some of the similarities as well from the interior, the elements, Dynamica, the bucket seats, both using carbon fibre like the carbon fibre bonnets, but also the differences, obviously the engines, but the engine from this in the GT3, all very complicated as well. But I can't wait to experience what this new M178 BS is going to be like to drive the new GT Black Series. The brand lives on, the 6th model, and I cannot wait to get behind the wheel in future. For today though, thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I appreciate your support an awful lot, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers!